Legendary fiddle players, the Campbell brothers and friends from Glenties, with traditional music, story and song, are Paddy Keeney's special guests tonight on Monday Night Live with Paddy Keeney.
Quiet! Radio! Hi, this is Dolly Parton and you're tuned to Paddy Keeney on Monday Night Live on Highland Radio. Paddy Keeney? Good God.
Hello and welcome along to the show. Yes, Monday Night Live, and we're certainly live here tonight in the studio. We've got a packed studio of musicians and singers, and we'll have a busy programme for you between now and 11 o'clock. Big thanks to Reverend Father Paddy Dunn. Yes, Travelling with God, always a beautiful programme here on a Monday night from 8:30 to 9, and big thanks to Martin Friel as well for all. I always torture Martin here getting all the gear set up during the show, but he never complains, so big thanks to Martin indeed. Well, I just want to say a special thanks to Ossie Bryson, to Fergus Cleary and Conall Gallen for last Monday night, but particularly to Ossie because he gave us a fantastic programme here last Monday night on the show, and we spent 2 hours and we hardly touched on all the talent that man has. But it's wonderful to have him, and it's coming up on 79. He was telling me he's like a young fella, and it's great that they can go around keeping us amused and keeping our hearts up in these bad times. And well done to Fergus and Conall for that as well. Well, tonight we have got the Campbell brothers from Glenties, and we have Stephen McCahill here in the corner. We have Grainne Gavigan, we have Ernan O'Donnell from Kilraine, and we've got James Keeney here in another corner. And we're going to remember the great Johnny Doherty, who is the subject of the Cup of Tea Festival in Ardara this particular weekend coming. But more of that later on. Meantime, our men are going to take us in to the music tonight. Very good, Vincent and Jimmy and James and Ernan there on guitar, and Grainne as well. But first we're going to talk to Stephen McCahill, who's chatting to me here in the corner. How are you, Stephen?
Oh, very good, Paddy, thank you.
First of all, thanks, Stephen, for taking down these men tonight to the show, but it's great to have these legends in the studio, and I suppose men really that knew the great John Doherty and played with them, and who better men to have in tonight?
Yeah, it's the reality is that there's few left. You know, James Byrne is dead, and a lot of people have passed on, and we honoured James Byrne gladly last year. We honoured the Campbells in an early year at the Cup of Tea. We honoured, of course, John the Tay, the man that the festival is after. But particularly James and Vinny, I suppose, more to a degree. I mean, they go back so much in history. Like when you go back to the early days of the original Donegal musicians. The Donegal musicians we consider from around our part of the world, around Ardara, Glenties, the Glenculm area. I mean, Vincent is a great example and has been, and the history has, like, I mean, he played in the Fort Hill Killie band, he was telling me, with John the Tay and Joe to the Post and all the rest of them. And he was counting all the bands he played in, and Ernan was saying it was a bad sign of a man being so many bands, but I don't think so. I think people wanted Vinny anywhere he could be, and great, the stories coming down tonight, and there, and Jimmy as well, of course. Jimmy had obviously, he missed a few years in England, so made a difference, but they're great people, and they're always so accommodating, and again, they're in the greenhouse, every year, and I mean, it's a great venue for them because it's an original place of music in Ardara, and they come there every year, and of course they're opening the festival this year because we're doing a special sort of around the fire idea, storytelling evening and songs and tunes, and with Stephen McCahill and Vincent and Jimmy and Ernan and the Glackens were to come, but Paddy and Kevin, Seamus' mother's very sick at the moment. She's cancer, right? And she's getting chemo, and they're a bit worried, and they may or they may not. But I can't expect them.
This is the 30th anniversary of the great John Doherty, the fiddle player, who died in 1980. So it's a celebration of his life this year, and Vincent and these people. Jimmy and
of course, he was just, the boys were telling me, just short of his 80th birthday in January 1980 when he died, and he was born, and there's always arguments about this, but Seamus Neddy and people like this tell me clearly that he was born at the side of Tom Diver's shop there in Ardara, and there's a little shed down the side there, and
so he's an Ardara man.
Well, he lived in Cairn, and of course he lived in Glenconmel as well, but
same with him anyway.
He would have a lot of history in Carrigan and Glenfin and Fintown and all those places.
That's right.
So the opening night is very much, and it's a special night opening, and I hope there'll be a good crowd to hear great stories and great songs about John Simey.
Well, we'll talk more about that later on, but Ernan, we're kind of separated here by a computer screen, but nevertheless you're very much involved in the history of the whole Doherty thing.
Well, to a certain extent, as best as I could, but I would have heard a lot from these two men, Jimmy and Vincent.
Yeah.
And I remember John when I was a child, before I went to primary school, when he'd be staying in Mickey Brown's at Glenconmel, he'd come over to my mother about 20 to 11, quarter to 11. You could set the clock with him, and he would stay till about 12:30.
He would.
And then there was a separate table in our kitchen that was known as the letter table. It was where my father sorted the letters and parcels for the post,
Yeah.
And there was always on the edge of it, in the summertime, a wee brown envelope, John Doherty, King of the Fiddlers. And I have a clear memory of John, when he'd be going down the step to the shop, he would turn around and he would say, "I think we'll leave it another day, Annie."
Right.
And my mother, because as soon as he collected the letter, they knew he was in Glenconmel.
I see.
So he'd be trying to hide his whereabouts,
Right. Oh,
so
yes.
he would collect it then the day before he would move up to Mary Ann and Dennis Maguire's of Upper Kilraine, because he would be seen going up.
I remember that he was very elusive, and there were only certain people knew where he was.
Yeah. So he would stay hidden in Glenconmel. Well, Glenconmel, you see, was a big fishing village, so.
And 2 cents.
Where you would need to know the road out of it if you went into it, because they wouldn't tell you anyway. So nobody was going to say if John was there or not, they were, and he would wait until the day before he was going up to Kilraine before he collected the envelope.
Right.
It was there.
Very good.
He'd go up to Maguire's then, and then he'd go across to Mary Ann O'Donnell's, and then he'd head up to William Boyle's stroke there then.
I suppose it's fair to say, in his latter years, he just travelled from house to house, and he had so many friends and so many musicians. They all wanted, and he got an open welcome.
Well, then for a lot of years then, in the 70s, and that he stayed nearly full time up in Carrick, up in Doc Burns.
Did he in the later years?
He didn't move as much then.
When he was getting a bit older.
Paggy, would just like to say, that the work that Ernan does, it's a credit to him because it's very much unselfish work. You know, there's few left. Like he told me tonight that I wondered why John Sammy used to come to our house. As a kid, I remember him, and often wondered why he came, because my father played nothing, and I certainly know the rest of us played anything. But Ernan was telling me my grandparents were fiddle players, but only people like Ernan has that information. He's developing, and it's totally unselfish. He's doing it for the good of the community. It's great to have somebody like that around here, you know, that has that sort of history.
So that's why John Doherty used to visit your house.
That's what Ernan tells me.
Yeah, that'd make a lot of sense, because he would go to places where he knew he'd be welcome and appreciate his music. Well, you can contact the programme tonight. You can text us at 087 60 25,000. If you're in Northern Ireland, it's 00353 87 60 25,000. Or you can email me, packykeeney@highlandradio.com. And as well as that, I'm live on Skype tonight, so Highland Live is the Skype name. If you want to contact us on the programme or say hello to any of the men that are here tonight, if you're in some part of the world, particularly across the water, we'd love to hear from you. I'm going to talk to Vincent and Jimmy shortly, but maybe we'll get another wee tune before we do that. And Vincent, would you like to introduce the next tune?
Well, sure. I'll play a tune that was played a lot around at dances, house dancing in my time. And it's a simple little tune. It's a mazurka.
Mazurka, yeah.
Mazurka.
Very good.
There might be two of them now. We'll play the two together. So
we might as well.
Probably you all know that the mazurkas came from Poland.
From Poland, aye. Yeah.
There was a big research done. They found out that the mazurka came from Poland.
Yeah, the year.
But it landed here sometime anyhow. So
and
we'll give you two little mazurka.
Carl, you can have a wee dance with the girls.
Lovely. Very good. Great stuff indeed. And Vincent, pull that microphone a wee bit closer to you there. Just take it down a notch, as the man says. No, just aye, that's it. Good, that's great. Now, Vincent, you, of course, would have known John Doherty and folks, all the Doherty brothers, Mickey and...
and I did knew the Dohertys. They spent a terrible lot of their life around our country, the Glenties, and from there down to Ardara, and down Portnew, and away to Glenculmkill.
Yeah.
They walked a terrible lot.
Yeah.
And they liked walking.
They did.
And then they used to stop in the Crows and the Blue Stack Mountains, and they done all the mountainous areas around our part of Donegal.
Yeah.
But John was very peculiar in his ways, you know.
Yeah.
He didn't like the modern world too much. He liked to stop in houses where there was still a hearth fire on.
Is that right?
Oh yes, he didn't like the ranges or the cookers at all when they started. But he would have an idea with some of it, you know, because he would be made a little makeshift of a bed, you know, in the corner of the kitchen. And John would fill his pipe, maybe I often seen him before he went to bed. He would fill the pipe again and put it away in his pocket. And he had this brown overcoat. He would have matches and all in it. But on in the night, as John wakened up, he would have a puff out of the pipe, do you say? And if that was arranged and things like that, these modern ways of going on, he was able to keep nice and warm as well.
Yeah.
Because they would rake the fire, and that fire was thrown out about a heat all night, and John was never cold either.
Yeah.
But it was very good that you mentioned there that he spent a while up on the Golden Gate, as we used to say, up in Carrick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was this Taig McMonagle from Tivolaw. He used to stop a lot there, do you see. And Taig was dead, this time, poor man. They were having a funeral. So John came down, he got a lift. He wanted to come to the funeral. And he came to the funeral. And an aunt of mine was at the funeral. And she said to John, she shook hands with John, she says, I hear, John, you have a great way on you now. You don't have to bother but walking big hills and mountains, and you don't have to worry about your meals and all is made for you, I heard.
Yeah.
And John was listening away, you know. And John was a man for travelling, not staying in the one, he was getting tired staying in the one place.
Yeah.
Well, Susan, John says, it's like this. He says, I'm looked after very well, surely, but it's just like if you took in the hare or the rabbit, give him a good feed, open the door, and he's gone.
You're an answer for everything.
Vinny, tell him you were telling us about coming down the road about his superstition. You were saying he's very superstitious about the redhead.
Oh, he was a very superstitious person.
Was he?
Oh,
Yeah.
he was. And he believed in it, you know. He was this day, anyhow, he was walking down Eden, and not far from my own place at home. And there was a road there down from Changavan, and this car was coming down. And who was it? Only this James Ward.
Yeah.
James Ward played the fiddle too, and he sang in his time.
Yeah.
But he stopped and he gave John a lift. So when they were going down, not far from the tavern, when this red-haired woman came up. This woman is still alive. But she came up, and John says to James, he says, stop straight away. He says, that's the first woman we met today, a red-haired woman. I always hear, he says, that you'll have terrible bad luck if you continue the same road. So let me out. He let John out, and John went away over the Lugnagilla road. He said he was believing he was going to escape any bad luck that he would have that day.
He took a new road over the Lugnagully. Very good, Lugnagully. Great stuff. Well, of course, you come from the Glenties, or
the top of the
Crows,
Glenties.
the top of the Crows there, is that
That's right, it was near there, yes. Well, I live near Glenties now, but a mile outside Glenties.
Do you?
I'm further up the country than you are now.
Is that right, Jimmy?
I am, yeah. Of course, I was away for years, you know.
Yeah.
I came back.
Where were you, Jimmy?
I started in Scotland and finished off in London, you know. That's followed the work and all that sort of thing. And then I got a woman, I got anchored, and that finished my gallivanting. And
what you use? Who's the youngest? How do you?
Vincent the
youngest.
He's younger than me.
Right.
He's a year younger than me.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I remember John as well. John grew up in our house, you know.
Yeah.
And there was one night away back, John, there was a big night in Donegal, you know, the tavern.
I do, yeah.
Because they came down from RTE to record John.
Yeah.
And of course, that's what they went to because, as you know, the Glen Tavern is a great place for traditional music.
That's right, yeah.
And anyway, all the farmers of the place around, as you know, around our place that time, there was a fiddle in every house, and everybody could play it, and they were mad on music. So that night, we had a big night in Denise, they said, tonight. So they were all there. But John was there too, and they'd done all the recordings, and then they finished. But there's always one smart fella, you know, or he thought John was getting too much glory.
Yeah.
And he says to John, and all the crowd, and John, you're a great fiddle player, and you were very good looking in your time.
Yeah.
And he says you were a great tradesman. But he says you never got a wife. How is that? And John put the fiddle down across his knees.
Yeah.
And he says, well, I met a lot of women, he said. Lovely blondes and brunettes and everything. But they weren't suitable. I thought, he says, it was better to go to bed hungry than have a bad supper. And your man, that was it. He always had an answer for it.
He had an answer, yeah. Intelligent, brilliant.
That's a good one you were telling me the other night about the ball coming out of Dunlow. Tell that story, because that goes into a tune. He's a tune on that one.
Oh, I remember that John told a story about when they were all young, you know, they were down in Dunlow and they were heading up for Doherty. I see when there was some place there that near Minnetonka that they could cross the fields an ear cut. So they went into this field and there was cattle on the field, and when they were going across the middle of the field, they discovered there was a cross bull, and the bull started following them. And by James, he didn't know what to do. And all he could do was he took out the fiddle and he started playing. And because the bull slowed down, so he started going nice and slow, and they kept walking, and he kept playing the fiddle the whole time until they were in Doherty. And they went to the door straight away, and the door was opened, of course. Ran in the door and took all the kids and all in with them, and went up to the counter, closed the door behind him, and went up to the counter and ordered a glass of whiskey for himself.
Yeah.
And P.H. O'Donnell was behind the bar at that time. And he says to him, what's wrong with you today? He says, there's a wild rhyme on you, whatever's wrong. He says, go down to the door, he says, and you'll know what's wrong. Yeah. He says, there's a bull there followed us nearly from Minnetonka. And he says, he's a cross bull. So O'Donnell went down and opened the door, and right enough, there was the bull looking in at him. Oh, because he wasn't long closing the door. And he says to Mickey, old Mickey, he says to him, he says, I'll tell you, he says, I'll give you a bottle of whiskey now if you get the bull back to where he was. But this is the tune he played anyhow.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, well, there's the tune they played.
So that's the one scared the bull anyhow. Very good.
He claimed that he saved their lives anyhow. So,
you got a bottle of whiskey out of it too.
Sure did.
Ernan, you might give us a song. Make a deal.
I have a question for you.
Right.
I got this song from a man, Eddie Gallagher. Was he alt na gapel or meet na J?
Altnagapple. Altnagapple.
So it wasn't right in either of them.
See, Crocknagapple. Crocknagapple. Altnagapple is where the Divers live, and Crocknagapple's where Eddie Galler lived. And
yeah, it's a song that called Bonnie Kilraine Boy.
Very good.
To a Christmas ball at the local hall in lovely Ardara town. From meeting the J, not far away, my friends and I went down to pass the night in sweet delight, to dance with carefree joy. 'Twas there I was first thought of by my bonny Kilraine boy. His cheeks as red as roses, his hair an alloy brown, and over his broad shoulders gold ringlets do hang down. His teeth as white as ivory, his eyes as black as sloes. He breaks the hearts of all fair maids, no matter where he goes. It's long, long years I've courted him in hope to be his bride, but now he's gone and left me to cross the raging tide, and I'm afraid some other fair maid my true love will enjoy, whilst I am still lamenting for my bonny Kilraine boy. Oh, I'll pack up my clothing, in search of him I'll go. I'll wander for my own true love, oh yes, through frost and snow. And sure, if I don't find him, I'll just break down and cry, still thinking of the joys I spent with my bonny Kilraine boy. And now that I am dying, there's one request I crave. Take my remains o'er to Kilraine and place them in the grave. Write letters on my headstone for all that passes by. I died quite broken hearted for my bonny Kilraine boy.
Very nice. Very nice. Indeed, Ernan O'Donnell there from Kilraine and Glenties, and with the name O'Donnell from Kilraine, there's got to be a connection to the Cardinal O'Donnell, is there?
Yeah, he was an uncle of my father's.
That was a connection. Back a few years, Ernan.
Quite a bit.
Very good. Look, we have to. I see. Lady gives us this request. Says, "Good evening, Packy. I want to wish Mary Hearn and Ardbat and Clohan a happy birthday on her 99th birthday. And I could tell a lot of stories as a boy, and I would eat her lovely homemade bread and listen to all the old stories from herself and her brother. I wish her many more years of good health. That's from John King and Kenny. And P.S. I wish the Campbells the best luck and the rest of the musicians there. Keep up the good work. And I would like to extend a belated happy birthday to Kathleen Gillespie up there in Gorton the Cart in Ardara. Kathleen was 90 last Tuesday, so well done indeed. And her sister Mary there, say hello as well to her. She's 93, but still as fresh as a daisy, as they say. And hello to James there as well. Stephen, did you want to say something before we go to the break?
No, just that John, of course the festival is very much around John the Tay, and he's in his mid-80s now, and it's fantastic that all these years he's still very much part of it, and I'm sure he'll be in Teagues over the weekend. The Cup of Tea weekend, of course, is the May bank holiday. It starts on Friday the 30th of April up until the 2nd of May. But John, I'm sure, will be there. And, he was in hospital there recently. He's had difficulties with breathing, but thankfully he's okay. And, the great care he gets from Annie is the main factor that he's so well and has stayed so well, The other thing is, just looking today, if you Google John Doherty, fiddler, it's just unbelievable what's there in him. He's just amazing, the amount of stuff on that man.
Worldwide.
Unbelievable,
worldwide,
I was just looking at that. There's one of the stories there, Packy, about that the family came from Scotland, from Argyll in 1314, and they were the owners of Doe Castle until they were driven out by a dare from Derry Bay, and then there's a whole history there. There's a massive history there, right. And an amazing thing had come up there too, that Pete Seeger had spent a summer with him. Is that right, Stephen? He did in the 60s, and Pete Seeger was the guy that sang at Obama's inauguration. And he spent a whole period, I think in the 60s, was it there, or the 70s?
Late 50s maybe.
Was it?
Yeah, up at Jim Cross School. John was staying in Mary Ann Maguire's up at Kilraine at the time. And Peter Kennedy was the recorder, folk collector from England. Did a lot of collecting, and himself and Malachy McCloskey came out, and they got John to go across. Pete Seeger had the camper van outside of the Cross School. That's where the recording was done.
My goodness. And of course he's just an absolute legend in the folk world, and the Clancy brothers himself were great friends as well.
Malachy McCloskey told me that John Doherty would have maybe 2-3 notes played of a tune when Pete Seeger would be joining them on the banjo.
Is that right?
Oh, he was really good,
Great musician.
There was a film made as well.
Yeah,
I seen the film of
what is that, Jimmy?
That same
they made a film that time. I seen it. Alan Ever, Dr. McCloskey had it, I think, too.
They had 11 minutes of it. The full films in summer.
That's right.
Gloucester.
Pete Seeger and John Doherty. Is that right?
I seen it. Very interesting.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
He wanted John to go to America with him, but no way.
Right. I'll come back to that, but says Packy, Stephen McCahill should be full of music as he's got high marks in the enter exams with James A. Big Fancy and music. I think we'll go to the break. And you're welcome back indeed to the show, and I think we're going to take a bit of music from there's a chat going on here behind me. Welcome back, and indeed to Jimmy Campbell and to Vincent Campbell, to the brothers here, Ernan O'Donnell from Glenties as well, Grainne Gavigan, who you haven't heard from yet, and James Keeney in the corner, and Stephen. So we'll get a song from Grainne after. We're going to take another wee bit of music from Vincent and Jimmy. Lovely, Vincent and Jimmy Campbell, of course, brothers. There's a few Highlands there, Vincent.
Kilraine.
What?
The Kilraine Highland.
The Kilraine, my goodness. I remember the names of all these. It says, "Hey guys, my special guest on Monday Night Live." Let me see. Here it is. I hope you and your guests have a grand show this evening. I'll be listening till you all here in Vienna. Have a good one. All the best from Mickey McNeil. So thanks indeed, Mickey, for tuned out there in Vienna tonight. You're welcome along. Grainne, we're keeping you very, very quiet there all night, aren't we? How are you doing?
Not so bad.
Grainne, you've had a really big time in the last few weeks. Pull that microphone over to you there. You've had a really big time with this show up in Glenties.
I have, yeah. It's been busy now.
Yeah.
I've been practicing since way before Christmas for Les Miserables in the comp. So.
And you were playing the lead part?
One of them, yeah.
Lead singers. Very good.
It was a great time now. We're exhausted.
Did you enjoy that?
Oh, it was fantastic. There were 6 shows altogether and sold out every night, so it was a great success.
I guess Father Paddy was saying to me he was trying to get tickets for it. He couldn't get in. So
they went straight away.
They're so busy. So that you're kind of a lady of many musics now. Then between folk and. Is that an opera show or is it just?
It would be along them lines.
Yeah, and then you do Irish language singing and everything traditional and
whatever.
So it's a great talent to have indeed. So you're going to give us a wee song now.
I'll sing "I Love Hope, I Love Tears."
Yeah. When were you on? It was last year you were down on the show, was it?
I think it was around this time last year. Yeah.
You were very young then, and what age are you now?
I'm 16 now.
You're 16. Well done. So we'll give a bit of guitar there, maybe.
On the first day of January 1892, they opened Ellis Island and they let the people through. And first across the threshold of that Isle of Hope and Tears was Annie Moore from Ireland, who was only 15 years. Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears, Isle of Freedom, Isle of Fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of Hunger, Isle of Pain, Isle you'll never see again, but the Isle of Home is always on your mind. In a little bag she carried all her past and history, and her dreams for the future in the land of liberty. And courage is a passport when your whole world disappears, but there's no future in the past when you're 15 years. Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears, Isle of Freedom, Isle of Fears, but it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of Hunger, Isle of Pain, Isle you'll never see again, but the Isle of Home is always on your mind. When they closed down Ellis Island back in 1943, 17 million people had come there for sanctuary. And in springtime, when I came here and I stepped onto its piers, I thought of how it must have been when you're 15 years. I love hope, I love tears, I love freedom, I love fears, but it's not the I you left behind. That I love hunger, I love pain, I you'll never see again, but the Isle of home is always on your mind. But the Isle of home is always on your mind.
Very nice indeed, Grainne Gavigan.
I'd just like to say, that Grainne is just one of the fantastic young girls around Glenties and Ardara. Yeah. She's just a joy to work. She's involved in everything. She's always willing to get involved. Yeah. Lovely, warm personality. But there's a whole lot of them, young ones of that age, Glenties and Ardara, and the other involved. They've been involved all year with us in the dancing and everything else. And sometimes when you give people like that a bit of credit and respect, it's fantastic. The results. And the school in Glenties, of course, is a great it's a great thing. And like the plays that went on there, the last one there was just fantastic. And Anne Galler's been on that since 1968, since Ernan was at school. And she's been doing it ever since. And like, it was lovely to see all the past people coming back, and it was just a fantastic effort.
You had Dr. Sean Ryan, another
Sean Ryan, the past people was back, and Pat O'Donnell and
Paula
Galler,
McNeilis.
And Paula's there.
Was Paula Monaghan, we should be saying.
New name now. Hard to get used to.
We're using our show name.
But it's just as great to give them a bit of credit, Packy. Fantastic. And Grainne is a prime example of just lovely young girl.
That's brilliant, It's nice watching her career coming up and improving all the time, and singing's getting better. So thanks indeed, Grainne, for that. Hello, Packy. We're listening to you in Australia on the net here in Ayrshire. Really enjoying the interview from Rita Kelly. So thanks indeed, Rita, for that. And let me see. We'll leave those for a moment. Somebody was trying to contact us on Skype, but we'll try and get that sorted a wee bit later on. I suppose, Ernan, the John Doherty music has come from there's a Scottish connection, of course, and all that. It's an amazing...
A big Scottish connection,
And the McConnells and all that.
But the Dohertys, the music that you would hear recorded, Vincent would be able to say better than that, wouldn't be their wealth of music at all. Like,
Right.
Like Mickey was recorded a number of times, and he played primarily just Sligo tunes for a lot of the recording. He probably played whatever he was only after learning, just. And didn't bother with any. You see, a lot of their stuff goes back to the piping music.
That's right. The style of the fiddle playing came from the style of the piping.
And the older, a lot of their older tunes are not recorded.
Isn't that amazing? I wonder why that was, or was it the time that was being recorded? The people who were recording wanted different tunes.
You could be right.
Or they didn't know what they did. You see, if you're interviewing somebody and you don't know the questions to ask, you don't get the right answers.
They wouldn't have been aware maybe of the music. That's what you're saying there.
I'm thinking, And the other thing is, the Dohertys were inclined to hold on to their music as well, so they mightn't have wanted to have it recorded.
I wondered very much one year I was home in 1958. I remember, Vince, you and I went up and bought all the records of Sean Maguire and Bal Buffet. And we took them home. So anyway, Vince was away. My father and mother went away. My mother came from Crows. She used to go up maybe 1 or 2 days a year. That was her holidays. And they were away for the day. So Josie and myself was whitewashing at the back of the house. And God who comes down the lane with his little step with John. And we were delighted. So I said to John, I have a few records here of Sean Maguire. Maybe we'll go in and listen to it. We made the tea. It was only the two of us there and him. So I put on the records, and John says, very nice indeed. Made no praise. But we went back where John went away. An hour afterwards, John was down the lane again.
Yeah.
God, Gossler says, you wouldn't put that wee record on me of the Bee's Wing.
Yeah.
It was a hornpipe.
Yeah.
Wasn't he terrible too that he couldn't go any further? There was a few little notes that he could, and he came back the third time that day.
Yeah.
But then he had it.
He had the tune.
But he would never give in. It was Sean Maguire that would learn that. Never. And he wouldn't come back at all if my father was about the house. He wouldn't give my father the satisfaction, say. But wasn't he a funny man?
That's his character. And was he All-Ireland champion on 4 occasions, Jimmy or Vincent?
He was supposed to be 2 occasions anyhow. There was one, do you know, one is the... They've given it in the... That Ardara, I think it was. It's on that film they made.
That's right, yes.
The Fiddler on the Road.
Right.
But,
well, we're coming up near news time, Vincent, and I have a wee piece here recorded for me. Late Uncle Eddie, who was a great fan of John Doherty's. Now, Uncle Eddie was 87 when he died last year in America, in Florida. But he left here in 1945, I think it was, on the Queen Mary. And he was a fiddle player, but then he played in bands in New York, accordion and all that sort of thing. But latter years, he used to give master classes and that in Florida and play a lot of the folk clubs and all that sort of thing. This was a piece that was recorded when he was actually 86 years of age. And he demonstrates the style of John Doherty in this. So I'm just going to take this wee piece that'll take us up to the news of him kind of explaining from his point of view.
That'll be very interesting.
What John Doherty is.
I have a book here of John Doherty's, Donegal John Doherty, fiddler. And I got kind of interested in listening to his music and the way he played it. And he played it a little bit different to other people, and I sort of enjoy the way he really did it. And he had some Irish Highland flings that I sort of learned from his book and also from his old tape that I have of him playing it. And I tried to, well, it's impossible to imitate John Doherty because he was unique and he was a specialist, but he played with a bow arm, and he bowed all the Strasby notes, and I enjoyed the way he played. And here's a couple of his Highland flings now. The names of them are no names; they're just Donegal Highland flings by John Doherty. But I thought he played them well, and he played them this type the way. I'm just going to try to imitate him. I'm not going to play them anyway as good as he plays them, but this is how they went, anyhow. played another Highland fling, and I liked it, and it's also in the book. And this one got a name. Somebody must have put this name on it. They called it The Cat That Kiddled in Jamie's Wig. And it's a hell of a name, and it's a hell of a Highland.
And in the studio tonight, I've got from left to right James Keeney, Grainne Gavigan, Ernan O'Donnell, Vincent Campbell, Jimmy Campbell and Stephen McCahill. And we're mostly involved in talking about the great Doherty family and great fiddle playing, John Doherty. And I think Vincent and Jimmy particularly knew Mickey Doherty very well. We'll talk about that a wee bit later. Anyway, lots of text coming into the show for these guys. Here's Packy. After last week's show with Ossie Bryson, I didn't expect anything like this tonight. Just mighty the wealth of talent that there is in Donegal. It's staggering. Great stuff from Morris and Mary McFadden in County Clare. So thanks indeed to Morris and Mary. And say hello to Grainne and tell her she's sounding well. That's from Brendan, who's listening on the internet. Grainne has a secret admirer there. And Packy, say congratulations to the Glenties Comprehensive School on their fantastic musical and breathtaking performance. Well done to all. Packy, great show. Nice to hear all the Glenties ones, and also Grainne, you are fabulous as usual. You're half a Glenties woman too. Looking forward to the cup of tea from Podrick and Bernie McGill and Aya. Right, now your mother comes from Drumala, isn't that right? That's right. Yeah, and then Drumala is where it's out there. I'm sure the train passed by Drumala and out that way. And I remember going down Fintown many years ago, and we used to maintain the lines on that route, you know, right up to, you know, well after the train closed. But Mickey Doherty had his own house near the railway line there in Fintown, where he eventually lost his life, Vincent. Samey, I should say. And that wee house, I remember coming across it one day, and it was burnt, and it was very sad, you know.
Very sad, yeah.
Right.
And there was very good fiddle players too from Drumala. I heard my father talking about them.
Is that right?
They were rotis, weren't they?
Well, that's her connection.
Well, there you are. That's where it's coming from.
Yes, the music.
The Roti Quartet.
Yeah, the Gavigans are going to get no credit here now.
The Rorties and the Gallaghers, then.
You get yourself into trouble.
Grandmothers, people there.
Every week they had a programme on radio in America.
Yes.
I heard my mother talking about them.
Who was this, Vincent?
I think it was the Roti Quartet, they called it.
Is that right?
Yeah. But one of them was one of the Rotis from Drumala.
Very good. Very good.
But I played myself with Paddy Roti.
Yeah.
He was a good fiddle player too from Drumala.
Your Grainne, you know now where your tradition is after tonight.
She's stealing it yet.
And the train to Balbavay. Packy, enjoying the show. Nice to hear all the Glenties ones, and good luck to Jim McGuinness and the boys. the boys, and a great ambassador for Glenties, as Jim McGuinness, and indeed well done to them. A fantastic display in the All-Ireland semi-final. We'll be looking forward now to the final, so lovely to see Jim getting that success. Fair play to Grainne, that's all it says, the next text, and says best wishes to Stephen and the musicians from Ardara. That's from Josephine Sweeney. And also just want to say hello and congratulations to Grainne for a great performance in the musical that took place in Glenties over the week. This is well done. And enjoying the show, great listening to Vincent, Jimmy, Ernan and all in the studio. That's from James and Bridget and Ard Patrick in Glenties. James and Bridget in Gallagher. Pack a hello to the lads, sounding great here in Limerick. There we are. And also a big hi to the boys from Jim Doherty and Kilmacrennan, and to Hugh McLaughlin and Carrickard. Keep up the good music. And Packy, please say hello and good luck to the Campbells. That's from Michael, the postman, and Glenn Finn. Sure
the weatherman.
He's just a neighbour up there, isn't he? And enjoying the show, Packy and Paddy. This is from Paddy and Fina Tunney, listening from the mountaintop in Letterkenny, with sending best wishes to you as well. Great traditionalist. And please ask the Campbells to write a tune for the Donegal under-21 team who are going to win the All-Ireland. So there we are. Stephen, well, I suppose you'll be hoping to win the All-Ireland certainly, but you have a more urgent thing coming up this weekend.
I think Jim McGuinness has done a fantastic job. I think it's the greatest bit of motivation. He's really put a fantastic team together. So credit to him, always. I knew it's in him, and it's great to see him getting there. Good luck to them all.
It is indeed.
Just another, I want to wish good luck to your friend and mine, Mr. Ardara Conlahoy. I know we'll be listening to you. He always is. He never misses. Just the programme, Packy. I wanted to mention the programme. The opening night Friday at 8 o'clock in the Heritage Centre. You have all these wonderful men here, and Stephen McCahill will be there as well. And Stephen McCahill has done a huge amount on the whole history, and he's picked up a lot of stuff from these men here, and it'll be a lovely evening for a limited number of people. The Heritage Centre is not that big, but hopefully it'll be a good night there. And then Saturday, then the schools of music, and we have top teachers there. We have very, very good teachers there for the schools of music, and fiddle, flute, whistle, accordion, singing, guitar. Then I have the Michael O'Rourke and Paddy O'Rourke. They'll be great grand nephews of Johnny Doherty. They'll be there for the weekend, and they're great fellas as well, and they're very helpful. And they'll do recitals in the Heritage Centre, and we'll have open air music in the afternoon as well, and hopefully the boys will probably do that as well. And the Saturday evening, then we have another evening with Mick Browd, another man that's done a huge amount of work and has a lot of information on fellas like Johnny Doherty, who's developed a lot and is very serious about it. He's doing an evening, and Pat McGill's Beehive on Saturday evening. And James had a great year. Last year, James runs a show on a Saturday evening in the corner house upstairs, and he had Ossie Bryson there last year, and he had a great night with Ossie, and I know it's always a great evening. We used to have it for Packy Manas, but Packy Manas may or may not appear this year. He's 93 and he's still alive and well, and we don't want to push him, because he's at an age. Sometimes he's in good form, sometimes he's not. And
by the way, my Uncle Eddie that had played there just before the news, they were a two-piece in their time before they went to America.
They used
1940s. Well, and Packy Manas is still going.
That's right. They used to tell me that yourself and Peter Oliver then followed them, Packy, for years.
No comment.
But we have an awful lot of stuff. Like the greenhouse said, the Campbells are there, and that's a great night with them. And it's great to see new talent. There's a young lad called Michael Curran. He's an All-Ireland accordion champion, and Matty McGrannon thinks he's the greatest thing, and I'm sure he is when Matty says that. So Matty will have him with him, and Doherty's, and that should be a good evening. Then we have a great concertina player, and living in Ardara now, Shane Bracken, and he's a whole bunch of musicians around him, and he has them in Nancy's for the weekend, and the corner house. Of course, Paddy O'Rourke plays now all the time in the corner house, and Paddy's playing better than ever, and he'll have of course Deirdre Boner, and Tom Byrne will be there as well, and it's great to have people like Tom Byrne coming along, and of course Adele McLaughlin, Trudy O'Donnell, and those will be there, and Michael Rourke is always in the hotel that weekend, and again you see, it's great to have them because they're the indigenous Ardara, Donegal musicians, and great to have them there. The Byrnes, sadly James Byrne is no longer with us, so James's family, and that'll be in Desi's, which used to be Brennan's, and that should be a good weekend. Pat McGill's a fellow that's done a huge amount in Kyotos and Ardara now, and he's Jim and Fiona and Donna Harkin and these there, and he'll have John Byrne. You heard John Byrne at Josie Briston's funeral. John Byrne from Glen, a great fiddle player.
Great player,
fantastic, and Mick Brown and all them will be in Pat's. And then there's I'm sure there'll be a session there in the Hills and also in the West End, and I'm sure and Tage will have John the Tay. Now John's not, as you know, not fit to play now, but like I was talking to the boys here and James was telling me about him. James, tell that story you were telling me about him.
Well, there's a long tie with the Campbells and the Tays, you know, because I heard my father saying he was very honoured one time. He thought the Tays was way better than him, you know. But this is John the Tay's father. Paddy was his name.
I knew Paddy,
And he, whatever happened to whoever was with him playing, he couldn't turn up at the dance. And that time the dancers went to daylight in the morning, 6 o'clock. And he asked my father would he play for him. And my God, he couldn't believe it, that he was so honoured. He always told us that. And along with that, we were very honoured that John the Tay played at my father's funeral, on the altar and at the grave, which was lovely too. So we have a big connection over the years with you. But it was about 35 years ago, we went into a pub called Leo McAloon's in Glenties. And there was 3 or 4 of us, my brother, Columba and all, and we sat over in the corner early in the evening, in the corner, but there was a petition, and we had a chat. So about an hour or so, this lovely fiddle music started out in the bar. And my cousin said to me, they all know you, that's some fiddle player. He said, we'll have to go out. And hold on, says my brother, for a while. So don't go out yet. We said, we're going out anyway. And who was it but John the Tay on a summer's evening, sitting up on a high stool at the bar on his own, playing lovely stuff.
Very good.
And he had a few drams. And we couldn't believe, you don't see John the Tay doing that very often, you know. So we had
investigate.
We had a chat with John anyway. What it was, he was over at the wedding in the hotel, the Highlands Hotel.
That's right, across the road.
And I suppose there was maybe a little bit of disco music going on. And John had enough of that, so he went across and started playing. Well, we had a great evening after that. Brilliant. My brother came out then, and all of us, and we had a lovely. Well, he stayed there for a couple of hours till the disco was over. So we had great times with the Tays.
Isn't it very often the spontaneous thing like that there is the real entertainment?
It's things you don't forget.
That's right.
Like, I just wanted to say that, you know, we're talking about Grainne, who wonderful musician she is. There's such a whole lot of other ones there. Like we talked about Aileen Sweeney we had last year, and Anya McGill, beautiful musicians, Hannah Maloney. There's a whole gang of them.
There is a whole new generation coming up there.
You know, they don't have any inhibitions, and that's the great thing. They're willing to get up. I suppose,
Stephen, a lot of that has resulted as because of the workshops that you've run during the Cup of Tea.
Yeah, Grainne would tell you there. You know, we had Ardcanna years ago, and they were the greatest bunch we ever had, teaching, singing, and you know, we had Kit Ford last year. We had a whole lot of different teachers over the years, and people might not have thought much of them at the time, but the value they got out of the teaching, you know, it's 2 days of intensive, and we do a thing then on the Sunday afternoon. We take them down to the Diamond and they play what they've learned, and it's a lovely thing. It's a whole integration of the teacher, and like, you know, the quality of the teaching there makes a whole lot of difference, and all those people make a big difference. So like, we've got great publicity in the Cup of Tea this year, and like the website, anybody wants to look at it, is www.cupofteafestival.com. You'll get all the detail there, but there's a great committee there, Packy, and that's one of the successes of Ardara. It's not about, there might be a lot of festivals, but there's different committees in every festival, and that's what makes it successful. But like John Sweeney and Mabel McHugh and Imelda and Chris and Tony and and Stephen and Pat and Claire and Paul, all those ones are the committee, and I would like to acknowledge them because they do the work. Sometimes I always get acknowledged, but there's a lot of people do a lot of things that are not acknowledged for things.
You're kind of Mr. Ardara, aren't you?
Well, that credit goes to Colonel Hoy, I think.
That's all right for Glenties, man.
There's another guitarist, Charlie Bennett.
That's right.
Well, I always have a soft spot for Glenties.
We're not far away.
Yeah, here's a man says, Packy, I am a traditional musician from Belfast and the Antrim Glens, also a radio ham, GI4PCQ. I got a call now on Skype from Joe McCormick, GI4CSO, who alerted me about your lovely show, enjoying the fiddling. Thanks, and maybe you would play some of my CDs sometimes. Yes, no harm getting a plug in. Check out the website and let me know if you're interested in all that. That comes from Sean Quinn and Glenn's Music. And Packy, listening on the internet here in Solihull in West Midlands in the UK. Enjoying the local talent performing. Good luck to them all. From best of luck from Michael and Nancy Keeney. There you are now. Very good. Very good night to you guys over there. And maybe John might be listening out there in Boston as well, and maybe some of Eddie's family down about San Diego and Florida if they're tuned our way tonight. And here's a man who's always tunes our way on a Monday night. Hello, Packy, and also a big hello to all your special guests. Another night of great music and song. I must commend you on the quality of the sound we are listening tonight. I have lost contact with James Keeney, Ardara, misplaced his phone number. Anything you can do for me, maybe your guests would know him. He played guitar and sang, and hello to all in Donegal, especially Maya Rua, Mary Gorman, Dolly Boren, Julia and Kathleen O'Donnell and the Cannons and all of the Glenveigh. Slán from Hugh Cannon in Toronto. Well, we do have a James Keeney in the studio tonight who is my brother James, but I think the James he's referring to as James from Glenties, is it?
Could be, yeah.
So, well, we'll see what we can do about that. Somebody maybe would text in James's number to us here from Glenties tonight.
Ernan and myself have that. I don't think that you would have to go too far to get
Ernan O'Donnell is here. Ernan might...
I would have it anyway, Packy.
That's all right. We'll get you... In other words, we'll get you sorted out, indeed. Ernan, you're going to sing a song for us.
Yeah. The song written by a Timony man from Minatawi in Fintown. It's called The Banks of Loch Finn.
Minatawi, that's all the Timony family went to school with them. Wasn't that Minatawi?
There's a bright golden lake midst the Donegal highlands. Long shall its memory remain in my mind, unsurpassed by Loch Annie with her holy crown mountains, embroidered with heath and wild beauty enshrined. And apart from the region where discord is raging, unknown on its borders deception or sin, but love and religion, its pure soul engaging, makes an Eden of bliss on the banks of Loch Finn. How oft on its fair verdant banks have I wandered, when my heart was as light as the zephyrs that play. But a wild wayward fate has unfeelingly sundered my soul from that scene where fain would I stray. Yet it is not the parting from lake, stream or ocean that tortures the heart of this bosom within, but the absence of him whom I love with devotion, the noblest, the best on the banks of Loch Finn. His brow was as fair as the Scraggs, pure as marble. His bright eyes were flashing with the lightning of love. His voice was more sweet than the nightingale's warble, and gentle his heart as the heart of a dove. And the rays of the young moon came mistily stealing, and silver the dewdrop that clung to the wind. As the tale of his love he was surely revealing, whilst we wandered alone on the banks of Loch Finn. How fond was his kiss on that eve when we parted, as we bid our farewells to Loch Finn's peaceful shore. I watched him departing so gay and light-hearted. Oh, little I thought I would never see him more. But death came and ruthlessly tore us asunder, youthful young lovers who were so akin. In the clay of Kiltivog his body lies yonder, and green grows his grave near the banks of Loch Finn. So sad must I roam through the land of the stranger, far, far from Loch Finn and its sweet peaceful vale, with none to protect me from insult or danger, and no one to shield me when troubles assail. But I'll patiently wait till my exile is over, and death doth release me from sorrow and sin. Then my spirit shall soar o'er the grave of my lover. Beyond the blue skies I'll remember Loch Finn.
Very nice. That's Ernan O'Donnell. Thanks, Ernan, for that. And Ernan's from Kilraine and Glenties, so the special guest in the studio tonight, along with Vincent Campbell and Jimmy from Cruagorma up there in the Blue Stack Mountains. And they were talking about and recognising the great achievement of the late Johnny Doherty, who has been remembered this year after his 30th anniversary. And of course Johnny Doherty was a frequent visitor, and the Dohertys were all frequent visitors to the Campbell's home up there in the Crows. And an interesting thing, Cahill Gormley, I don't know who you're listening to, Cahill up there in Carrigmore. Cahill comes down and he stays on Ironmore Island quite often. He loaned me a book recently, The Northern Fiddler, and it gives a great analysis of all the Donegal fiddlers and also the Tyrone fiddle players. And the book now is out of print, and I just happened to be looking at the internet today. If you wanted a copy of it, it would cost you £200 sterling. That's how much it's appreciated. So I had the loan of it there from Cahill Gormley up until lately, and it gives a great analysis of all the fiddle styles from Carrig, Glencolmkill, and how the Doherty family influenced all those, Vincent, and the McConnells coming in, and the piping influence and all that sort of thing. So it's a great story, isn't it?
Big story. Is that Feldman and Doherty that wrote that?
I'm sure you're featured in it too, Vincent.
I have a book of that.
The Northern Fiddler.
It's a long time.
There you are.
But I didn't get time to read it all now, but there's a lot of stuff on it.
We'll read the Donegal side.
He read about himself, that's all.
That's it.
I know I read more than that.
Well, it does a great comparison between the regions of Donegal, the Rosses, the fiddle players there, and how they were influenced with the Scottish influence, and then how the Carrig and the Teelan fiddlers all came about. And
every little quarter had their own style, of playing. And I noticed that very much in Donegal, even in the past. But nowadays things are changing. Nearly all, to an hour time, you learned all from the fiddle players and that before you. So you learned it by ear,
Yeah.
And every parish you went to, there was a different style.
That's
but
right, Jimmy.
The trouble is now, I think, between recordings and tapes and CDs, they're kind of maybe going all Tommy Peoples, not great stuff, and other great players,
Yeah.
But the style is going away. It's great to have the style of that, but you need
that region.
the beauty.
Tommy would have his own style. That what you're saying?
That's it.
Yeah.
Now we would go down, say, to Teelan,
yeah,
and you go down even out to round Finton or anything. You got different styles from the people from the hills and all that.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah.
It's not easy to see. And it's all started by the book now. In our time it was by ear you learned everything.
Yeah, that's right.
And you see, the trouble is with the book you lose the traditional style.
Yeah, well, I suppose that was fairly clear from that book, The Northern Fiddler, and that the Teelan and the Carrig and Glencoln players, they took their influence from the Dohertys.
That's right.
And there was a clear example of what you're saying, Vincent.
So there is, you see, if you're playing, especially a fiddle, because you can only put down your note with an up bow or a down bow. You see, you can't learn a person from the book any other way.
No.
But the person that learns traditionally, he can maybe have 3 strings with an up bow and maybe the 4 strings with a down bow.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference. If I seen a person now playing, I often do see people playing,
Yeah.
But I can tell straight away where did he get his music from.
There you are.
Whether he got it from the cradle or from the book.
Very good.
A terrible lot of young people today, do you see? Well, they have no other chance any other way, only go to a workshop.
The same thing goes now with the
It's
Gaelic.
a very good thing, but
the Irish, the Gaelic.
Good Jason, Jimmy.
I mean, the Gaelic. I do be listening to Radio na Gaeltacht,
right.
Which is great. And it's great these people has Gaelic, but they haven't got the grammar in it that we had.
Yeah.
It's not from the cradle.
That's the same then with the fiddle playing.
But they have more,
same time.
But they have the names of everything that I haven't got.
Yeah.
All these computers and everything else. There's new names.
If there's a word missing, they make up for it.
Yeah.
Here's Angela Fisher in London saying, "Hi Packy, enjoying the programme. Hope it all goes well for the Cup of Tea weekend. The best regards to all the Ardara ones. And I know that Aidan is also tuned in with the family in Moville. Cheers to all from Angela Fisher." Thanks indeed for that, Angela. And Packy, enjoying your lovely show online in Belfast. Say a big hello to Joe McCormick, who put me in touch. Thanks indeed. And can you please read this tomorrow morning? Well, is it tomorrow morning yet? No, we'll have to leave that one. Wish Paddy McGrath a speedy recovery from Connell, Haughey and Ardara. Thanks indeed. Connell, who's...
Paddy's our wonderful star player from Ardara. He's a cornerback on the under-21 team.
Is he injured?
He got his jaw damaged, unfortunately. But Paddy's such a powerful player. I got a text from him after the game. And he said, "Dad's a wee bit sore, but he's been in Atnagelvin today, getting it reset, I think, So unfortunately, it's sad because he's such a fantastic. Not only is he a fantastic player, he's just the nicest young man you're going to come across. Just one of the great young people of the future, So that's sad,
That is.
Packy was going to ask you to. Grainne Gavigan love this because he's always advertising Mahara. Vincent has a good story about Mahara and the caves. One of Johnny Doherty's story.
Well,
pull that microphone down a wee bit closer to you there. I know we're getting a bit of feedback from the old glass on the window there, but not much we can do about that.
Well, Johnny always had stories. He was, apart from being a good musician and all that, you know. They done a lot at the time. See, there was only maybe an odd radio going and things like that.
That's right.
They would have carried the news, they would say, from Glencolumkill and way over Cashel and Mininieri, you know. And when they came as far as Ardara and Glenties, people were waiting on them to get the news, what was happening away down about Glen. And
that's how the news was carried.
that's the only way it could be carried at the time. And then, from the time would night go on, he'd be playing maybe first for a while, and then people would be telling stories. But John this time told a story about the caves down below Ardara there.
Yeah, Mahara Caves.
Yes. Well, he said that anybody ever went into this cave in it anyhow, he never came out. So nobody would go near the cave. But this fellow he was from around that area. He joined the army when he was young, and he was in a couple of wars, and he was afraid of nothing, you know. He went through that much. And he said he would go down in the cave. But he used to play the pipes, and he took the pipes with him and the dog. And all the people gathered, of course, men and women, to see this man taking on, and they were praying like anything that he would come out alive. And away he went playing the pipes and into the cave. And pipes were heard for a good while of the first day until it came to the evening. It was fading and fading. And anyhow, they all went to home, and the next morning they gathered all again, no sign of your man, or no sign of the music, nor the dog. So they started praying again around the cave. And nobody came out anyhow. And then they gave up hopes that he was just gone the same as the rest that went on. So after 3 days, the dog came out down in Glencolumkill, and no skin on him.
That's a good one, Vincent.
So the dog went through a lot.
But he never came out.
That's where Grainne's grandfather comes from, is Mahara.
Mahara, all right. There was a name on the tune, the march, I forget now. I can't just think of the march, but I think Farther and Deeper, they called the march.
Was it?
That's a paper song.
That's what the paper played going in. You don't know it?
I know it if I could think of it. I just can't think of it at the moment.
Yeah, you could.
Well, I think I will play you a tune of John Doherty's.
Very good.
And I'll tell you about the tune. I learned, we used to go up to John Cunningham, the blacksmith in Mount Charlotte, for a big nice music, or maybe once or twice a year. And this night I was up with it, and John Cunningham had a terrible selection of music. And I learned this tune from, it's a reel. I learned the first part of it very well, but I wasn't too sure of the second part. There was a couple of notes. The name of it was The Silver Spire. But the next day, anyhow, it was a Sunday, I remember well, and I went up a place called Lochia, and I was dying that I would see somebody that would have the rest of the tune, you know. And who did I see coming down? What they called the Mullah Gair, only John Doherty.
God.
And God, I said to myself, this is it now, I'm right. So John came down anyhow, and I started telling him about the night before that I had a great night up on with the blacksmith in Mount Charlotte. John knew him well, you know. But I says, I learned this tune of him, and by God, John, the second part of it, I haven't it right. And I bet you would have it. John says to me, fussle a bit of the first part of it. So I fussled a bit of it. Oh, John says, that's the Silver Spire.
God.
So John then fussled the rest of it for me, and the few notes that I was short, I learned the rest from John. But this is how the Silver Spire goes.
Lovely. Lovely, very good.
That's the way I learned the silver spine.
That was John Doherty's own. It's a great memory to have, Vincent, isn't it?
Well, it's a nice memory, surely.
Yeah.
There were great days and great nights.
Yeah.
I remember us would go up to Mount Charles, myself and Cormac one, God rest him, and we would go without lights and we would come back without lights.
Yeah.
It was a full night.
Yeah.
And that's what you'd call a full night's music.
Yeah, full night. And Cormac, I think, James, you used to call him the tape recorder.
They used to call him the walking tape recorder.
Who was that?
Cormac.
Cormac,
He had a tune once, he had it.
Oh, he had a terrible memory.
Brilliant.
Terrible memory.
Yeah, he went to Longford one year with us, John the Tay, myself, and 3 or 4 of us. And every tune he had in Longford over the weekend, he could whistle it on the way back.
That's right.
Marvellous.
And as the man say, even if he had a few drinks with him himself and he would learn it, he would still have it.
Still remember it.
Another person, if you had a few, maybe a little bit over the bar, you mightn't have all the tune, but he would have it all. He would have it all.
It'd be gone when you go out the door, Vincent.
Well, at times it went quicker than we thought. We'll know all about that the next day, of course.
I think we're going to get another song from Grainne now.
Yes.
And in the meantime, it says doing a fabulous job there, Stephen, from Geraldine Malloy and the Kilraine and Glenties. There you are now. And Grainne, I'm wishing you all the best from Aileen Sweeney. So, there you are. Plenty. Text coming in there for you, and I want to say a very special hello tonight to all the people listening on the internet in whatever part of the world you're in tonight. I hope you're enjoying the show. And by the way, next Monday night on the show we'll have Hugh McMonigal, Hugh's from his own, and he's launching his new CD, and Patsy Hart from Cyan Mills in County Tyrone. Patsy has got a new CD as well, so we'll have both of them here next Monday night. Grainne, what are you going to sing?
Sing Will You Go Lassie Go.
Will You Go Lassie Go. Lovely.
Oh, the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pick wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? I will build my love a bower by your pure crystal fountain, and on it I would pile all the flowers of the mountain. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pick wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? Oh, the autumn time is coming, and the leaves are gently falling, where wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pick wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? Will ye go, lassie, go?
Lovely.
Lovely, Grainne, well done. That voice is getting sweeter and sweeter every time I hear it. Packy, really enjoying the show. I remember about 45 years ago, John Doherty staying in our house for a couple of days playing the fiddle with my father. Hello to all the great guests and good luck with the Cup of Tea Festival from Sean and Mary Waters. What are we going to stay, Stephen?
Well, that's Sean's father, John, as you know well. John Horsky was a great player. He was in the Fortell Killy band, as you, Vincent, was he?
You were in the Fortell, James, too?
Yeah. James was as well. John Horsky and Tully Cleve.
I sure played with Ulf.
He played a long time.
Great Highland player.
Vincent is another one, Packy. I don't know if you have time for it. It's about the Nespit Arms Hotel. You should tell. You were telling us coming down the road about it. Tell us that story.
Well, I don't want us to believe this. I'll say nothing about the rest of them. Well, John was telling this story himself in our house one day that years ago that the Nespit Arms, he said they had French doors. I think they were inside the front door.
Yeah.
And he says he went in and he sat down and he got a half one for himself and he had the fiddle with him. But when he was a while in, this man, big man, came in the door. And God, John says, he was a whale of a man. He says, he had some kind of a scarf for him. He says, it was very like it was made of a hemp rope or something like that. So he says, I'm not sure. But he says, his shoes was that big. I'm sure they were at least 13 of a size. And he had a big dog with him. And the big dog, John says, sat down beside me. And I was sitting down low. He says it was a low table. And they asked me after a while to play a few tunes. God, I took out the fiddle and I started playing. And we had a few drinks and everything was going all right. But when I came, I said to myself, I'll play this Jackson's Reel. When you go on Jackson's Reel, as John himself said, and it's true, you have to go over on the bass with the bow. So John went over on the bass with the bow, and he came on the dog with the top of the bow. And the dog took one leap out and through the French doors and away. And the big man went out after him. And God, he was out a long time, but he wasn't coming back. So after a while, he did come back. And he says to John, he says to me, John, what did you do with my dog? Oh, John says, I done nothing at all with him. I was playing, and I just happened to come a little dab with the top of the bow. He says, if that's all that's wrong with him, he'll be back, he's all right. So everything went by, John says, but the big man was drinking away, he says, whiskey, and I was afraid that he might get contrary. So I got the fiddle, and I put it away, and I took the bow. By God, he says, when I was putting the bow in the case, wasn't the dog's eye on the top of the bow?
Oh God! Oh, those size 13 boots.
The French doors are not in the hotel anymore. I can gladly say.
Oh my goodness me! Speedy recovery to Paddy McGrath. Text in there says, well done to Stephen McCahill on the great work that he does for all the young people in Ardara. And well done to the Comprehensive in Glenties, was such a powerful musical last week. And also, can you please read this? We did that one a wee bit earlier. Enjoying the show. Good luck from Paddy, Paula, and Paula Harkin and the family in Glenfin. So that's stuff coming in there. Indeed. Were you in the Fortell band, James, at the time that Vincent was in it?
Oh, I was. Yeah. Vincent and myself were there at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, we were.
We were, surely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was called the Fortell.
It was called the Fortell was the proper name of it. Yeah.
That's right. Fortell.
They changed it to be trendy one time to the Sean Tracy Kelly band, and then so we got a booking down the country somewhere, and the fellow that replied said, "Could I speak to Sean, please?" He said, "What, Sean?" He said, "Sean Tracy, the leader of the band." So we changed back to the Fort Hill again.
But why was it called Sean?
Sean Tracy was a patriot down in Tipperary.
Oh, he was sure.
Like Patrick Pearse, it was named after, you know.
Yeah.
It was a trendy thing to do at the time.
Well, there's an Ardara, Arden Raha.
Oh yes,
That's the height of the...
Yeah, the fort up at the top of the town.
The fort is just a translation of Arden
Translation,
Raha.
I think it was at the Glenard at some stage as well, or something like that.
Well, we had the Glenard band too, of course. That was Ardara and Glenties fellas together.
Glenard.
Yeah, Josie Boyce was in it. Thomas Campbell, you know.
James, when you analyse it, Glenties and Ardara are very connected, aren't they? Really?
Oh, they are.
There wouldn't be any rivalry or anything, Stephen.
The Fort Hill or the hill of the fort is where that's where the original phone calls used to go to Glenties. You went to Kilraine from the fort. You sent out a message to the height in Kilraine, and he relayed it into Glenties.
Oh, I see.
That was go back in very olden times.
Smoke signals.
It was a very important place up there, you know. Yeah.
There's a Highland, played. My uncle and this Barney Boyle was playing in Ardara to dance. Oh, that's a long time ago. You know, it was fiddlers that time, maybe two fiddlers or two accordion and a fiddler, mostly melodeons that was going that time.
Right, yeah.
And they were playing this night, and of course the dance went on until the morning. But if you played the same tune over again too often, you weren't counted a good musician.
No.
So it came 6 o'clock in the morning. And they were after playing nearly everything that they had. And my uncle said to Barney, he says, what will we play now? Barney was great with memory, you know. Oh God, says Barney. Shinnim will Colini Ardara. We'll play the girls of Ardara. And that's the name that Highland has to this day. I'll play it for you.
Go on. There you go. Lovely, nice one. Yeah. Here, that's a turn up. Yeah. You surprised them there, Vincent. You surprised our dry ones there, I think. Now then, somebody was trying to call us on Skype there. But anyway, we're actually getting very close to the hour. And get James Keeney to sing. He has a lovely voice, Packy. Does he?
Who's that?
James.
There you are now. I suppose we're getting kind of close to the time now anyway. Hello to all at Highland and the Cup of Tea crew as well. Says just back from a very informative meeting by the Donegal Dublin Association on the Donegal Live event on the 16th of May in Temple Bar. Hope to see as many from Donegal around as possible for the big night. Best of luck to the Cup of Tea Festival Committee and best wishes from Gemma McCahill. Would that be daughter Gemma?
The Donegal Association, a big night tonight in Dublin, and I think in the Campbell Court. So they're developing this thing, you know, for Donegal visitors to try and get as many to come back to Donegal as possible. And I'd have to say, Packy, the people like the Donegal Association and the Board Falchion, people like that have been great to us over the years. We'd work quietly away with them. Our festival, we try to keep it as cheap as possible. There's as much free entertainment. Really, most of it is a free recitals, free open air, free pubs, free everywhere we can get it. We've a wee bit to pay, but they've always been very helpful to us, you know, and you can be positive or negative. And I tend to lean on the negative and the positive side about everything, and I think it's the way, you know.
That's good. We're kind of running out of time, so I think maybe if we would fiddle our way, James, maybe you'd lead on a bit on the accordion there as well, on our way out of this tonight. And big thanks to all those people who have been listening tonight. And we could go on here for a long time. Grainne, you got a lot of songs to sing, and Ernan there as well, no doubt. But we'll pick it up again some other time. And thanks
again, as always. Thanks so much, Packy, for all, and appreciate it very much. Appreciate. I hope everybody comes along and has a good time with the cup of tea this year.
Yeah, every year. It's next weekend. It's next weekend. And of course,
bank holiday weekend.
Vincent and Jimmy will be there, and they'll be doing their thing.
Oh, the boys will always there, very much part of it. And Kevin McKee again, as I said, was the guy that gave me the idea and gave us all the idea at the very start. Myself and John Sweeney and John have been with it from day one, and it's established itself now. When you get on the national radio and things like that, it's going well.
Thanks, Packy. Thanks a lot, Stephen. Well, there we must leave it, but we're going to go out with some Vincent. What are you going to play us out with?
I think we'll play the Harvest Home hornpipe.
The Harvest Home.
The Harvest Home,
very good.
Hornpipe.
And
it's a very old hornpipe and was played very popular in our young days.
Very good. This is a real traditional piece then.
It is all right.
Lovely. Well, there we must leave it, folks. Thanks indeed for your company tonight from 9 o'clock until now. And, of course, a big thanks to the Campbell brothers. That's Vincent and Jimmy. And to Ernan O'Donnell as well. And to Grainne Gavigan. And to my own brother here, James Keeney. And Stephen McCahill, as always, who does that great work up there in Ardara. Hope you can join me next Monday night when Hugh McMonigal and Patsy Hart will be my special guests. Final text in tonight. Congratulations to Jimmy, Vincent and Ernan and to Grainne, and that's from Martin and Eileen and Manas and Rees McDyer. So thanks indeed to all those folk tonight. Stay tuned now. Tommy Rosney's coming up with great country music. He'll be taking you through until 1 a.m. Till next Monday night, the same time. Ihawaii, Slán agus Bannacht.